Welcome back, everybody. My first guest tonight is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and best-selling author who covers race, law enforcement, and justice. And he's now a correspondent for 60 Minutes' new series on Quibi. Please welcome Wesley Lowery. Wes, thanks so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Stephen.
Now, you were at George Floyd's memorial in Minneapolis on Thursday. What was it like to be in that crowd?
You know, it was really emotional. Unfortunately, with the job that I've done over the last few years, this isn't the first time I've gone to one of the funerals for a person who's become a hashtag, right? Who people know of. In this case, I was staying in the same hotel as George Floyd's family and had gotten to know them a bit, had been spending time with them, having conversations in the hallway. And so I was with them as they prepared to go over. I actually rode over with them with my notebook and was taking notes, and then sat right behind them at the funeral. And it was quite an emotional and moving event, right? This was not that memorial, the first of the three, wasn't open to the public. So it was largely dignitaries, elected officials, family members, some celebrities who'd shown up. But it was really difficult for a lot of these family members. It was the first time they'd kind of been out and talking about this case in public since everything had happened.
When you said you've been on this beat for a long time, please tell the audience what you mean by that. What is your history with covering the experience of Black Americans, especially Black men, and their encounters with police?
Sure. You know, in some ways, this has kind of been one of the stories I've spent my entire career covering. You know, I was a college student during Trayvon Martin, and got some of my first writing ever was around that case. By the time I became a professional journalist, I was working at the Washington Post in 2014, and just happened to be available to get on an airplane to a suburb in Missouri. There had been a police shooting, seemed like people were upset, and I thought I was going to Ferguson for 3 days. I ended up basically living there for 3 months. Then I spent the next 3 years as one of the lead reporters on a project called Fatal Force. This is the project we won the Pulitzer for. And in that case, we wanted to answer this key question that appeared in our reporting. Right, I was on the ground in Ferguson, and I'm interviewing protesters and activists and demonstrators, and I'm saying, what do you want? What's the issue? And they say, this is an emergency. The police are killing Black men in the streets every day. And me being a good reporter, I would call the police and the police unions and go, hey, everyone says you're killing Black guys all the time. And they would go, no, we're not. We definitely aren't doing that. Like, never happens. What do you mean? And we realized journalistically that either the police were killing people or they were not, that there was a fact there that we should be able to figure out. What we discovered was that information wasn't available. There was no federal or national database. We didn't know specifically how many people were killed by the police each year. And so we launched a project, Fatal Force. It's still live to this day, where at the Washington Post, we measured every on-duty shooting by a police officer in America. So we have a database going back to January 1st, 2015, and began doing analysis. What are the race of the people who are killed? What are the circumstances? How many people are armed? How many people are unarmed? How many people are in a car? And then try to ask questions of what might help limit the number of these fatal encounters. Because here's something that is true. Everyone I've ever talked to in this space, from the line officer to the police chief to the activist, everyone wants to live in a world where the police don't kill people, right? Mm-hmm. And so if we want to build that world, we have to figure out how many people the police kill and what the circumstances are so we can start making tweaks.
Well, did your research bear out the accusation that African-American men are killed at a higher rate proportional to their population?
Certainly, yes. So what we found was, we found two things, right? First, we found that, in fact, police use of force and fatal force happens much more than we might have thought. That every day in America, 3 people are shot and killed by a police officer. Now, again, these are just shootings. Eric Gardner wouldn't be on that list. Sandra Bland wouldn't be on that list. George Floyd wouldn't be on that list, right? These are just guns. The vast majority of people who are shot and killed by the police are armed white guys, right? Now, when we start looking at population numbers, that's not too surprising, because there are in fact millions more white guys than there are anyone else. And so statistically, that starts to bear itself out. But when you start to drill in, right, you got to remember, Black Americans make up a very small subsection of the American population, 12 to 13%, Black men 6%, right? But they are making up 24% of the police shooting victims and 40% of the unarmed police shooting victims. And so it was clear that this small population that had taken to the streets to say, it seems like you're killing us all the time, statistically, they had a point.
You published an article in The Atlantic yesterday called The Breaking Point. Based on all the study you've done on this, all the reporting you've done on this over the past 5 years, why is this the breaking point?
So I think two concurrent things have been happening over these last few years, right? Because we all have been watching these videos over and over and over again. Sometimes it seems like every time we open our phone, there's a new one of these videos. You have to decide if we're going to watch it or not, right? Mm-hmm. And for Black Americans, it's been extremely exhausting. These were experiences that they always knew happened and no one would believe them. They'd kind of been gaslit about it, right? No, the cops would never treat you that way. What are you talking about? And suddenly they're having to watch video footage over and over and over again. But for white Americans, the video footage allowed them to see something they could never see before. You know, the reality is the way I might be treated by a police officer could be different than the way you're treated by a police officer based on the color of our skin, right? And the aggregate interaction is going to be different. So suddenly, white Americans who had no reason necessarily to know that these interactions were happening or would have had to believe the Black people to say that are now watching it on their phone all the time. And so as Black Americans got increasingly more fed up, white Americans got kind of increasingly more woke. No matter their politics, they go, well, that one was really bad. Or, well, again, another one, right?
Because you're right, a majority of Americans, regardless of the political party, both Republicans and Democrats, believe that there is a problem with police abuse of Black Americans.
And that's new. That wasn't true just 2 years ago. That wasn't
and
true.
A doubling of support for Black Lives Matter.
Of course. And again, you can't divorce that from the fact that, you know, who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes, right? That folks, no matter their political inclinations, are opening up Twitter or looking at the news or opening the phones and they're watching the videos themselves, right? And they're saying, that guy doesn't need to be dead. Why did they kill that person? And so suddenly it forced people to see something that they might never see otherwise.
Now, you're now a correspondent on 60 in 6, which is the new short form 60 minutes that's going to be on Quibi. What's your first story? So,
in fact, the first story and probably the second story, maybe even the third story, will be here from Minneapolis. And so it's been reporting we've done here on the ground. We do a segment that I'm really excited for that looks at the local history here. This is not the first police shooting here. This is not the first time there's been massive protest. And also looking at how many of these activists who've been in the streets for 5 years, how their ideologies have shifted and changed, how they kind of came in as reformer types and now they're like, shut the whole thing down, it doesn't work, right? And so trying to trace that conversation. And then we've got another really great segment, I think, with George Floyd's brother, who I spent a lot of time with his attorney, Benjamin Crump, who's represented a lot of these families. And then also we spent a little time with Reverend Sharpton the morning of the eulogy as he finished writing it and tried to talk to him about what's it like to give these eulogies. And so those should be the first two big pieces that we publish.
Speaking of the people who come in to reform the police or restructure the police and say, no, we've got to shut the whole thing down. For those out there who may be confused by the term, can you explain what's meant by defund the police?
Sure.
Because that implies that at the end of the day, there's nobody fighting crime.
And it's really interesting, and this is something we get into very specifically in this segment for this very reason. For a lot of folks, it's confusing, right? Mm-hmm. But this is something that has been present in this type of activism for a long time. In most municipalities, huge chunks of the budget, if not the majority of the budget, go to police departments. And this is true at a time where most people of most political ideologies agree that things like education and mental health and healthcare need more funding, right? That we know we have other social systems that have been gutted from the recession and from economic downturns. But police are one of the areas that, not that some of them haven't taken cuts, but in many cases, these departments get more money each year. So what folks talk about when they talk about defunding the police is they say, what if we took $4 million from the police and gave that $4 million to mental health services? Would that mean that now the police are having to respond to fewer calls about people behaving erratically? What if we gave $4 million to drug treatment? Would the police then get to respond less to drug users or people under the influence in public? So the thought is essentially, right, in the United States of America, we have one number if there's an emergency. If your cat's stuck in a tree, if someone's holding you at gunpoint, if you've locked your keys in the car, if your younger brother's running around in circles in the backyard, you can't get him to come to bed, there's one number. 911, and a guy with a gun shows up. As we know, there's a lot of scenarios where perhaps a guy with a gun is not the solution to whatever it is you need help with.
Well, Wes, thanks so much for being here.
Of course, anytime.
Welcome to CBS. I'll see you at the Christmas party if there are ever parties again.
Yes, if we're ever allowed in the same space again, I look forward to it.
60 in 6 is streaming on Quibi this Sunday. Wesley Lowery, everybody.